G'day everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nemi and I am going to be guiding you today on my progression series for Etheria Restart. This guide is going to be a little bit different from those that are already out there. We are going to be showing you everything you need to do to progress through the game from day one all the way up to farming the hell stages later on. What I've been seeing from the community so far is there's a lot of random information out there. A lot of people are kind of recommending the wrong way to approach a game like this. If you do follow this guide, this is definitely going to be the easiest way for you to get to the end game as quick as possible. Make sure you follow the steps well because you won't regret it. In a lot of gacha games, rerolling is sometimes a necessary process to getting a strong account. With this game in particular, you don't really need to reroll to be able to progress through the game and get to the farming teams later on in your progression. However, you can do some rerolls for specific characters that are going to help boost your overall strength of your teams or make things slightly easier. While there are many strong characters in the game, there is pretty much only one character that is unique enough that I would potentially reroll a whole account for, which is Heinrich. Now, if you want to be super sweaty and you want to get a stronger account, some of the other really strong units that are going to help with progressing fast are Marvel, Lily, Rosa, Beyonce, and Real Mocha. Now, Marvel isn't actually an SR unit, but he's part of the Light, Dark, or Constant Disorder factions in this game. Lily is going to be a little bit harder because she's the SSR version, which is the highest rarity. And then Rosa and Real Mocha are two of the better DPS characters in this game and definitely are going to help with your progression. We are going to be picking up one for free regardless. But if you get the other one, it can definitely help when farming different teams. The last character on here is Beyonce, and she's just an insane buffer that is really useful for helping build some speed clears. I'm going to be putting this huge warning here at the start of the game just so people, understand this. But let's say you go and you see a tier list and there might be a character like at the top for like literally everything. One thing you need to actually question yourself is, does this unit actually work for PvE farming? If they are grading this unit when it's fully skilled up and fully viable, then that's perfectly fine. But you're just not going to have the materials to use these things early on. And there's probably going to be better options for you just to progress than to force these units into your teams. Okay, so there was a new server released a couple days ago, which was the global server 2. We're going to be starting the account on here. If you want to play along, feel free to do so. And just make sure you do follow a lot of these steps. They're going to be very detailed. And I'm going to be telling you pretty much everything you need to do. Everything down to like the point, right? So don't derail, do it, and you won't regret it. Trust me, okay? One quick tip is if you're able to, you can actually dodge some of these guys. You don't need to hit any of them, as what it does do is it actually costs stamina to battle in the main story quests, and none of the rewards are really worth it. So what you do is you just run past them, okay? Just run past them. Let's just ignore them. We've just completed the tutorial and we've reached our first 10 summons. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put something back up on the screen to show you a list of units that we're going to be looking for from our summons. Some of them we're going to be able to get from Guaranteed Banner, and some of the others we should be able to pull during these summons that we'll be getting in the early game. So Freya here is the first limited banner in the game, and don't worry, if you are watching this video at a later date, she isn't completely necessary for the clear, but she will make content a lot easier. Another unit that can kind of replace her and does sometimes do a better job in specific areas is Chiaki the Echo. So if you don't have like a limited banner for Freya, or you don't really want to reroll for her, you can probably grab this along the way somewhere. It's not too hard to get, and this will serve the same purpose. After this, we get Grey for free. We've already been using him in the tutorial. On the Freya banner, there are two units that are pretty good. Dina to me is definitely a must pull. However, I don't think you really have to worry for any of these SR units unless they're the LD or the Constant Disorder type, because they definitely do drop quite easily. The only one that might be a bit hard on this list to pull is Marvel or Valerian. So pretty much with our pulls right now, we're definitely looking for Dina, Sania, Chiaki the Echo, or Freya. Another good unit to pull, but not really going to be used in the early game, is Kazami Kazuyo, which is going to be part of one of our teams later on. You are going to be able to get a decent amount of summons. Maybe at some time later, there might be more, there might be less. There's a lot of codes running around right now because of the launch. But just keep in mind, you probably don't need that many to really get up and going, and you're more than welcome to start straight away or go through the whole reroll process. it's up to you. At this present point in time, there are a ton of redeem codes. They may not be available later on. So if you are following on with the series at the current moment, feel free to go and check if any of these are still available, but just keep in mind they may have already expired. To enter your codes, all you need to do is go down to the settings, go down to other and press redeem code, and then just put them all into this section here. As you can see here now, we've got 36 summons that we've collected from putting through the codes, as well as any other rewards we've collected along the way. Now, generally, if you were trying to reroll, what people have been doing is they've been summoning on the permanent banner, and they've been looking for some of the more rare characters and trying to get multiple copies and getting like a really, really strong account. For the sake of progression, you actually don't need to do any of this. As long as you follow the guide that I've got here, you're not going to have any difficulty with progression. But the first thing I am actually going to recommend everyone to do right now, if you are starting while the Freya banner is up, I do recommend summoning on it because a lot of the units in the probabilities, if we go down to probabilities here, the Sania, the Kraken, and the Dina are all really, really good units, and you're going to be able to use them to help push a lot of content. Please do not summon on the targeted banner first. We're going to go into the limited banner Freya here. Now, maybe you're playing at a later date and Freya isn't on the list. You'll probably have to check to see if the limited banner is really, really good for progression and if the units in the rate up are really nice. And then I probably would suggest going on it too. If that's not the case, then just use all your summons over on the permanent summon banner. All right, so at this point, we are going to be going and clearing the main story quest. So what this means is you have this main quest line here, and this is always going to be priority number one. This is going to unlock things that you can farm, as well as there's a lot of freebies in these maps. We just finished Vanishing Train Part 2. At this point, you did get a module set. What I want you to go and do is go put this on your Lian for now. So you can equip the 4 pieces just here. Bam, bam, bam. Next one too, this one, and the last one. And feel free to power all of these ones here up to 6 or 9. I probably only am going to power up to 6 as you will replace them quite early on. But if you really want to, you can take them to 9, but I would never probably take them higher than that. At this point, we've also unlocked the HYPERLINK charter. This is going to be the thing you will follow through for all the rewards and kind of a tip for progression. So as you can see here, we have completed the main story quest up to level 7, I think it is. So we are now locked until level 10. So at this point, this is when you need to go into the HYPERLINK charter and start just doing everything here. For Terramaton, the team you're going to be using early on is just going to be Lian, Grey, Dina, Sania +1. Generally, you just want to chuck in a fire unit. It doesn't really matter which one it is because these early stages are super, super simple. For Doki, one of the main mechanics that you need to use to ensure that you can clear is you need to take some form of CCC to get rid of this shield that the monsters have. So in this case, we got Kraken from the banner. So we're just going to use him. There are some other units that you could use. One of the most common ones, which we don't have just yet, is called Kazuyo, which is actually going to be able to be picked up for free. We've just hit level 10 in the game. Pretty much just to get to level 10, all we did was farm some Terramaton 3, as well as clear some of the shell stages that were all in part of the HYPERLINK charter. So if you have anything to do up here, you can just go and quickly clear them until you are at something that you can't do just yet. After you complete the main story quest around level 10, you will also unlock unions. And what you are trying to do is jump into any that are probably around level 10 or higher. If you can't find one that's level 10, don't stress too much. Just try to join one just for now, because you will want to start doing your daily activities in those guilds. Unfortunately, we went the full 80 summons, but it really doesn't matter. From now on, what you're actually going to be doing is putting all your summons into the permanent banner until about level 20. At level 10, you also unlock something called GP Outpost, and I want to highlight how important this area is. Unlike a lot of the other contents here, so for the shell drops, the modules, and the Animus XP, a lot of these don't have like a permanent value to your account. The thing that is really, really cool about the GP Outpost is you pretty much always use the drops from these at any point in the game. So if you're lost for what you should farm, or if you've need to burn some energy to get to the next level to unlock the next content, feel free to go and chuck your stamina into here. In particular, you're going to be farming the hollow one first, because the main dungeon we want to be farming is Doki early on, as it's a very easy dungeon to farm with the right setup. At this point, we are trying to now push our account to level 13 for the next stage of the guide. One of the things we can do is in the GP Outpost that I just showed before, not this one, sorry, this one here. So in the GP outpost that I showed before, you can go clear all of these one time just to get your first time rewards, as well as a way to spend some of your energy. After this, what I do probably recommend doing is going into Terramaton or Doki 3 and just trying to farm some of the drops here with the two icon pieces. You don't want to be using single icon pieces pretty much at all. So all the modules that we currently have on our units, we really have to be pushing for two icon modules early on. You don't need to really overfarm anything. You're only trying to farm just to get the two icon pieces. Obviously, if it's a support, you're looking for HP or defense percent on the right-hand side, and just something similar on the left-hand side. Speed is always good as well. And for your damage dealers, in particular for Grey, you are looking for crit rate and effect accuracy, as this is going to allow him to defense break as well as land his skills. You don't really ever need to worry about Lian. She is going to get all of her pieces from the missions. The other units here, you just need to follow the same generic guidelines. If they have to land a skill, you're mostly looking for effect accuracy and then tank stats as well as speed. If they're just a healer, you're kind of just looking for HP percent, defense percent, and speed in the early game. Nothing else is really all that necessary. The other thing you want to be doing is you want to push the Echoes to stage 2, as this is where we can get some modules to power up for Lian. So I'll show you where that is real quick. If you go into the tab up here and you go down to the challenge section and you scroll down, we have the Anisync Echoes. Now, right now, your team should definitely be able to clear it 1 and 2. 3 is going to be a little bit difficult, so you can come back to that later. But we can get this attack bonus module as well as this defense bonus module, and we can chuck them straight onto our units to help improve our team. We're now in the grinding stage where we're trying to hit level 13 to unlock the next content. So what we've been doing so far is we've been AFK farming Doki just so we can start getting some of the Swift Rush pieces. With your stamina, you are going to be doing 10 refreshes a day. You can do it one at a time to ensure that you are getting some of your energy back from natural flow. Make sure you never use these stabilizers here. These are only going to be used for events later on in the game where we have 2 times drop rates. You'll be doing this until around about level 35 in the game, where most of the important farming content is unlocked. One other thing you'll notice is we are able now to take our Lian to level 5. So when you are able to do that, just come here into the star upgrade section, press add all, and get the rest from your crafting, like so. Add all. And now we have a rank 5 Lian. This is also going to be a good damage boost, and it's going to make sure you can clear content a little bit faster. Feel free to still keep chucking any of your modules into Lian, as you don't really need them for any of the other units right now. So while you're pushing to level 13, you're able to go through your hyperlink charter and see if there's any other missions you can clear. So right now we could go and farm some of the Investigation Fantasy Club another 7 times to clear this. We will be gated on the arena realms until level 13. The Animus Fate here, we can actually go and clear a Terramaton normal one more time to unlock the next stage of rewards. And maybe there's some places we can spend some stamina on in there. Here, we will be a little bit stuck until later on, and same with the shell. We're not going to be able to do this one until we unlock level 13. Just a quick early tip for gearing, guys. You're going to be going and moving any of the pieces you get from Doki farming onto the units that you are going to be using in your teams. However, I would avoid using the 1-star pieces. You're pretty much only going to want to be using the 2-star. For now, you will equip it to try and get as many stars as possible. So we can just chuck these all on Grey for now. And pretty much on the other side, we're going to be looking for crit rate, and crit rate on him. So we're just looking for one more piece here, and then he will be ready for the early game. The main goal of early gearing is to get your Swift Rush set to +12 for the bonus speed, as well as to get that one off piece that's going to help that specific character. So in this case, Grey, he needs to get to 70 crit rate eventually, as this will allow him to defense break more consistently. So his extra piece is going to be a crit rate one. Obviously, you would prefer a double icon image crit rate set, but if you don't have one, just feel to use a single until later on. So now that we have an effect accuracy piece, we're better off putting this on him, upgrading it to probably just 9 at this point. And this will make sure that he is more consistently landing his freezes, and this can be used on any of the CC characters as well. Don't worry about the shells too much right now. You don't really need to power them up just yet. We're going to be focusing on that from level 13. You're just looking for the Swift Rush set in the shells for now so that you can hit the 12 piece for the extra speed boost. I'm actually going to be creating a union on the global server. This is going to be for anyone who is interested in joining and doing the playthrough with us. Ideally, you actually would try to join a union level 10 guild as soon as possible, but it shouldn't be too important for the first week of the game. Feel free to come join the guild if you're still struggling to find one that is level 10 plus. You want to be joining a union as soon as possible. For one, the check-in will give you some free stamina as well as some other goodies, and there are many other weekly quests that you can get some other stuff from as well. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see the Anchor Recon. This is pretty much the guild boss. You're going to want to do this probably at the end of every day so that you're getting the most damage output from your teams. You can come in here and set up a support. So we're going to put in Lian, Freya, and probably Grey for now and just press save. And you will have to go in here and try to do this once a day and get as high a score as you can. Right now, obviously, I'm the only one in the guild, so there's not going to be any progression. But once you fill up the guild, you will be pushing these bosses and getting better drops. The union is actually going to be very, very important for early game progression, as once you hit level 10 with a guild, you could buy the red Shadowprints. If your guild isn't at level 10 during the first week, don't worry, that's fine. You can buy the lower rarity ones, and this is going to help us push our first 6-star character. Do not buy the other things just yet. During the first week, you are only going to be focusing on the Shadowprints. The only other thing you have in the union area is the union assist. And in here, what I recommend people to do is go and put one of their 3 DPSs that they're going to be aiming for their account. So for example, right now we have Lian. She's our main fire DPS. We could use her as our main target. You're not going to want to change this at all. So you're pretty much going to be keeping Lian in here every day until you get an upgrade material for the fragments later on. The best 3 units to be using for the union assist every day are going to be Lian, Real Mocha, and Rosa. These are definitely the best 3 DPS in the separate elements. And you'll just be keeping on using the exact same one every day until you get this anime fragment. So we're going to confirm Lian for day 1. However, once we do get Real Mocha, I am going to be swapping over. Now, if you do have any of the emblems for the red one, you can go ahead and use it straight away on day 1. Now, once the guild fills up, there's going to be other images in here, and I'll be able to go and spend some of my currency for some rewards. As you can see from the daily check-in rewards, you do get stability, so it is very important to make sure you are in a union as soon as possible. The other thing you'll notice down the bottom here is if you have more members in your guild, this tier of rewards is actually going to bump up to the next one. So one of the focuses you want to be doing is looking for a guild that is either full or progressing your guild by getting as many members as possible to make sure that you're getting the best from the early start. At this point, we need to spend another 200 energy to hit level 13 for the next stage of progression. So we're going to just be farming some Doki normal 3 just to get some more Swift Rush pieces for our support units. As you can see, we have now reached level 13, which is the next important part of the grind on day 1. I'm just going to get rid of this off the screen. So this has now unlocked the Apate boss in the Grim Pursuit for the shell drops. I have no idea how to say this name. Apate, who knows? Who cares? But this is the most important part of day 1. And this is where you're going to be using most of your stamina. So once you go and spend your stamina, you're going to be full refreshing to ensure that you can get something specific from here. We're going to be focusing on the Budo Panda shell, and you're going to want to max out 3 of these. Back to the guide here, you are going to be farming for specific ones. For Lian, you're mainly focusing on getting double red icons on both sides. So as you can see here, this shell can drop, I think this is called like Fury, Swift Rush, and something else. You're looking for something with 2 icons on left side with red and 2 icons with right side on red for Lian. The other 2, what you are going to be focusing on is Swift Rush anything. So you just want 2 of the Swift Rush. Ideally, they'll have 2 fire as well, but if they don't, it's perfectly fine. You're going to be maxing out all 3 of those shells the full way, and you might even be doing a little bit of reconfiguring for the Hyperlink charter missions. So now we're going to be setting up our AFK farm and clearing hard Apate with most of the remaining stamina for the day. So here we are now AFK farming apart hard stages. One quick tip you can do is go in and turn on the auto attack order settings to open, and then make sure you're targeting the boss. It should be this on default. This is just going to speed up your runs a little bit. It is quite important to get to level 15 on day 1. For one reason, we unlock the arena at level 13 once you complete the main story quest. You'll also unlock the events, and these events are amazing for just getting some free goodies for powering up your account. Right now in the game, we will have Cubic Game as well as Shell Story. I'll give you a small guide once we unlock at level 15 on how to complete both of these. Just to speed up the grind as well is when you start collecting some of these Budo Pandas, you're going to want to look for the one that you will power up for Lian first and max that out as soon as possible. This is going to make the time clear just a little bit faster, and then you can start chucking the other ones on your Grey as well as your Freya. After level 13, once you unlock the main story quest, you will also unlock the Arena Realm. One thing I definitely recommend going and doing every day is going here, going into your challenges. We need to set up our defense first. Just use your offense team. It's perfectly fine. And Grey here. And for the first few days, all you need to do is pretty much go in and look at the people that have names where it's like Brad Shaw, Troy Scott, Mary Burke, and look at the points up the top. You're looking for the highest one with one of these. Check the team. If they're all the same level, this is most likely a bot that's been put into the game, and we're just going to go in and order this for some easy points. You will later on obviously have to start hitting other players as well as targeting specific teams with whatever you have built. So do keep that in mind. But for now, this is just a very easy way to progress in the arena. You don't have to worry about doing all 5 of your hits every day. What does happen is the arena wings do stack from day to day. So if I, for example, didn't hit at all on day 1, this would go up to 9 wings right now on day 2, and then I'd be able to use them on the second day. So don't worry too much if you haven't done it for one day. But I don't think it goes past 10, right? I think it caps at 10, so just keep that in mind. For now, I definitely do not recommend refreshing arena tickets on a new account. Unless something changes in the future, this is probably not going to be worth it for progression. We are definitely still in the idea of saving all of our crystals for later on when the 2x drop events pop so that we can maximize our gains from the rewards. So one thing you'll also notice is we have max leveled our Grey and Sania through the AFK farming. And once they do hit this point, you definitely want to go and upgrade their star level straight away so that they can keep passively earning experience through your AFK farming. As they will also be getting more stats, this is just going to make your teams just a little bit safer in the early run. We're going to be leaving Sania and Freya at rank 4 for now, but Grey we will definitely be taking to rank 5 as he is going to be on the squishier side, as his module focus is going to be crit rate on the right hand side, where Freya and Sania focus on tanky stats. So they won't really need the level ups to be able to survive in the harder content. For your modules and shells for your early game progression, I do recommend you power up Lian's unique gear to 9 and her epic gear to 12. This is going to be fine until later on. For the other units, same rule applies. You can power up the unique gear to 9 and the epic gear to 12. This is just so we can save as much of the Etheria coin as possible. For the units that don't really do damage, yes, you could power up slot 1 and 3, but I prefer to only do the HP one on Sania as her healing scales off of her max HP. And once again, we took everything to 9. Unfortunately, we didn't get another HP bonus with two icons on the Swift Rush. So we just took a one icon and powered that up to 9. And the same was for Grey. Unfortunately for him, we didn't get a third crit rate option. So here we're running crit rate, HP. But once again, you will change this one out to crit rate, and then you'll be powering up each of these 3 equally until he manages to get to 70% crit rate. For the shells, we aren't going to really power up any of these except for the healing one just for some more HP, as well as the damage one for Lian. We're going to be swapping these over to the Budo Panda as soon as possible. We're now reaching the end of day 1. We've still got a little bit of stamina to spend, as well as we're going to level up to 16 in 30 energy anyway. So I want to quickly go through some of the things that you should be doing towards the end of day 1. So quickly, let's go over these new shells that we have farmed. So once again, as you can see here, for the one on Lian, we have double onslaught and triple harvest. What you're looking for is just double and double. So 2 and 2 is perfectly fine. If you get 3 and 3, that's fine as well. And this is going to go on your Lian. For the passive effects, I want you to reroll any kind of attack line on the left side. It doesn't really matter if it's green. So there's different rarities, and this one is the purple, the unique rarity. It doesn't matter if it's one of the lower rarities or the higher rarities. We don't really care too much about these lower shells too much, but it is still a good idea to look for the better stats. And you can see here we've gone and gotten a flat attack on the left-hand side, and we got crit rate on the right-hand side, which are the ones that I think are preferred for Lian in the early game. For the Freya, you can see we went for a Swift Rush on one side, and the other side doesn't really matter as we're probably not putting a Harvest offset on her anyway. But for her and for the other units, so for the other Budo Panda, I definitely recommend for the left side going for a roll that is related to HP. So you can either go for HP percent or flat HP. And then on the right-hand side, so on the middle one here, you're going for speed. Now, looking at these already maxed out, you can see that we're getting all of these stats up here in the right-hand corner, which is absolutely crazy. Plus, combined with the fact that we're getting 4 speed here, this is giving her 4 speed. As well as the fact that we went and got all her modules, you can already see that she's reaching about plus 70 speed already. This is at the end of day 1. She also has some decent HP, not terrible attack, and some okay defense. So this Freya is ready to go for the next stage of farming. If we pop down to our Grey, he's also in a very similar spot. We're going to be trying to get him up to 70% crit rate tomorrow and try to get some more effect accuracy. But once again, he has 75 speed. On his shell, we actually got pretty lucky. We did this twice. We rerolled this slot twice and we got the max speed you can get for the unique shells. We also got a Animus HP by 800 on the left-hand side too. So this one is all ready to go. For the Sania, right now, you're pretty much using any leftover gear, and that's going to be it. If you don't have Sania, you may be using Dorothy, you could be using Valerian, you could be using another healer, maybe you got one of the SSRs. It doesn't really matter, but pretty much you'll be doing the exact same thing for her, and this will be your 4 units. For her shell, you're just going to be using the Teacher Owl or any of the healer ones. I don't even recommend powering them up plus 10 as you're going to replace these all pretty soon. The other thing we're able to unlock at the end of day 1 was the cubic game and the shell story. I didn't really have time to go and complete it on the first day, which is not much of an issue. This is just an account to show you guys how to progress. But if you are able to, make sure you try to unlock events on day 1 and just to get some freebies to help you speed up the process. For the cubic game, we are quickly going to go through some tips and advice for how to do this. So as you can see here, we have 3 images, and your goal is to try to get as many boosts onto the picture that you want the most, as well as combining the plus ups on the effect. So for example, here, we have these 3 cards here. One thing you could do is pop this here. Now, what this will do is if we get a power up here, 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 and here, it will power up whatever line that it is adjacent to. So I'm actually going to chuck this one right here. Now, we get a +2 one here. This is going to a +2. This is going to +3 both this picture here and this picture here, which is the best start we could possibly hope for on the beginner difficulty. See, if I put this here, we're only getting 2 stars, and this one we're only getting 2 stars as well. If I chuck this in line with one of these, we get an extra star, which is going to give us the better reward. So we're just going to chuck that down. And now with the team we've already been building through the game, we can now easily clear all this content. Like this team is now pretty much ready to clear hard stage 3 of the module farming, as well as this event. This event is now trivial. You can easily just go in and order this as well. After you begin the trial run, you're going to unlock the hard mode. Now, in the hard mode, there's going to be a specific module or picture we're going to be looking for, which is the Beyonton one. So we don't have it here on the first board. We get 3 free resets. I'm not even going to bother trying this one, as during the first week, we definitely want to be looking for level up mats. The other thing that is absolutely insane later on in the game are these the lattice pieces. So outside of the first week, this would probably be my main priority. The other thing people could focus on is also the crystals or gems or whatever these are called, right? However, we are definitely trying to get the level up mats first, as we really want to 6-star our DPS character so that we can help push content. So I'm going to keep resetting. Now, unfortunately, once again, we didn't get it. We're going to try it one more time. If we don't get it, we're just going to take the best option. So one more time, let's see what we get. And we got it. We actually got it. So down here, now Beyonton as a drop will give you Shadowprints. And the more we upgrade this, the better the chance of a higher reward we will get. So what we're going to try to do is try to focus on getting this to as high a reward as possible. The other ones do not matter. We are trying to maximize the rewards we will get from this part here. As you can see here, we were able to push the Beyonton picture up to +8. Ideally, you would try to get this to red 3, right? Red, the next color along the line is the red, and it goes to 3. And this would then give you the chance at dropping a red shadow print, which is so fantastic for us in the early game. For now, we're just going to take the purple Shadowprints that we get here. They're all still really, really good, and it definitely should be the focus from the Cubic game during the first week. If there's any other events, like for example, we have another event at the moment, which is this board game style event. So I'll quickly go to that one as well, the Shell Story. For this one as well, you are going to be looking for things that will help boost Shadowprints. So right now, we don't really care about the crystals. Yes, they're fantastic and it's always nice. What you are prioritizing will probably be these big figurines along the board. In particular, this one here, the Witch, it'll show you 4 pictures, and it's like that mix the cup kind of thing, and you'll be looking for the ones that are related to Shadowprints. And this is probably the best thing to do for the events at the beginning. However, do keep in mind, this is only for the start of the game. Later on, you're probably better off chasing the stuff like the crystals. If you see any lattice pieces or summons, they're also really good too. It's only at the start where we're really hard focusing on ranking up our main DPS. We're going to quickly do a recap of everything we've done on day 1. So the first thing we did was we did a full refresh on stamina for day 1. Do not use your stabilizers, okay guys? I'm only saying it one more time. Ideally, we would have pushed to 16 or 17. Once we finish using the stamina we currently have on the account, we will get to like almost 17. We farmed our 3 max Budo Pandas. We did get some good 2 icon modules from Doki for our main units. We joined a unit, we actually created a unit, and we did do our dailies. We also hit the boss. We did our arena. We aimed for the level up materials in the events. We cleared everything for the first time rewards, and we do have a couple still left to do, which we'll just do after this, as well as we cleared the Anisync Echoes to stage 2. This is going to set us up fantastically for day 2, and we're already at a point where we can clear pretty much everything that they throw at us easily. Something I've noticed in this game is that you shouldn't really be struggling with anything if you approach it correctly. If you are struggling to clear a content, you probably have made some kind of mistake, or you've probably focused on something incorrectly, or you're not using the right team. There's going to be a reason why you aren't progressing, and usually it's not because it's too difficult. I'm going to just put that out there right now. The one other thing that we weren't able to do today was the Phantom Theater. You definitely should be doing this every day. Once again, it does give us Shadowprints, which are going to help push our first 6-star. So when you do have time to do this, you're going to go in, you're going to choose whichever boss you want to use, and then you're just going to build a team here. And then where it says co-op, you're going to share this one with the person you're match made with. And you're going to then just let this run, and however high score you get is going to be the box you'll get. If you get triple S, obviously you'll be getting the purple Shadowprints, which are really, really nice. So I guess the last thing I'm going to say is if anyone is interested in joining me on the global server, right now I'm global server 2, you're more than welcome to come and join the guild, or the union OnlyGreys. We've just started this up. It will take a while to get to level 10, but I am going to keep this running for a month or so. And that will be perfectly fine for a lot of you. As long as we get this all filled up, should be perfectly good. That's going to be all for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to give a like and subscribe if you want to get more content from me in the future. Peace out.